Okay, perfect. So we will start from general overview, right? So the theory course is a mandatory part of full course, which is theory plus practice. And you can cover all the topics and areas of knowledge that any skipper should know and have around the world in any country. And regardless of what kind of association is behind the license or the system, because in the world there are three big sailing associations that license people and give you the card that you can present to charter a yacht. When I say charter, it means rent a yacht on your name and you become a captain of it. And regardless of the association, the amount of knowledge is pretty much same and similar, because it makes sense, right? If you're a skipper, you're the skipper. You should be safe. You should know what to do, how to do, and when to do it, how to work with the yacht, and how to work with people, with your crew. So it doesn't really matter what kind of association is behind the course. So there are technical differences, of course, with the licenses, but the knowledge is the same. So when I teach, I concentrate on the knowledge and not on the specific agenda, specific paragraphs and stuff like that. Because with my experience, I know what you'll be facing when you will rent a yacht, you'll start sailing, what exactly situations that you will be facing. And we spend more time and energy on the situations that are more likely to happen. And if for example, if we're talking about emergencies, like not all emergencies will happen, but some of them may happen. So we'll spend more time to understand how to act if something happens that may happen, and not just hypothetical, that in some books you will see too many information, for example, on the topics that are not very relevant. So I try to avoid it. So what are your reasons that you may be interested in a theoretical course or practical course? And by the way, theoretical course can be taken completely separate from practical course, because sometimes people just like to enjoy the process of studying and learning something new. So that's already a good reason to go through sailing theory and understand how the sailing works, how the yacht is constructed, and all topics of sailing. So the next time if you join someone's team, that you will be already knowledgeable, you will understand a lot, even without practical course, right? So the other reasons to do the course is just to have competence, right? So if you finish the course, you don't have to be a skipper, you don't have to be a captain. It's all about knowledge and confidence. Then you get a license, yeah. And if you decide to be a skipper or captain, skipper and captain is synonyms in this class of sailing, in this class of vessels. It's exactly the same when we say skipper or when we say a captain. And by the way, if you have any questions or not sure what I'm talking about, feel free to interrupt me in any moment. I prefer to have questions immediately rather than at the very end when we already forget about what we were talking about. So if you decide to be a skipper, then you can create your own trip in the location that you want, on the yacht that you want, the size, the model, the age, the price, and with the people that you want to see on board, and not just people that you're given, right? So you can be participating in any complicated sailings like expeditions or regattas, because when you have this license, when you finish the course, you will be more welcome as a crew rather than people who have no knowledge. So yeah, as I said, you have a priority. And of course, after finishing, you will become part of the community. We have several hundred people who sailed in the previous trips, and we have about 30 skippers and people with licenses who are is a separate core community discussing what next destinations, ideas for next sailings, and so on. So the license is inshore skipper. The license allows you to charter a yacht, any yacht that you see on these pictures. It can be a smaller yacht, can be a larger yacht, it can be smaller catamaran, can be larger catamaran, and it can be also a motor yacht that I personally don't like, because any vessel that has no mast and sails is boring to me. So there's nothing to do. You can click the autopilot and you have nothing to do on the motor yacht. So it's dangerous for your liver because you'll be drinking all week if you rent that motor yacht. So I recommend sailing yacht, but because each sailing yacht on these pictures, they all have motors as well. So they all can become a motor yacht if we don't want to use sails or if there is no wind. Is that clear? Any questions so far? All right, you may be curious.
So I have one question. So
you have a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, please.
No, please continue. Yeah, there is a question in the chat.
Alexei, what is your question?
Yeah, I say that there is a question in the chat in Zoom. So if you look there,
okay,
you will find the question.
Sure. Andreas, what did you want to say?
I know. Is it possible to drive a motorboat with this skipper license? Is the same kind of license? Because I thought the motorboat license is different from the sailing boat.
In general, yes, but it will depend from country to country. For example, Switzerland is definitely complicated. For example, with all my licenses, I cannot sail in Swiss Lake because I must have Swiss Lake license first, which is ridiculous for me. I sail oceans and seas around the world, right? But it's all about local regulations. In general, you can rent the motor yacht like this, and smaller, of course. But you may be limited to power. If it has very powerful engines, I think you probably wouldn't be given it. But and believe me, you don't want to have a motor yacht with very powerful engines if you're not trained on that specific motor yacht before. But a yacht like that you see on the picture, I chartered with this license. I chartered about 4 years ago in Barcelona, and it was fantastic. Was good. I had it only for 1 day because more than 1 day is too boring if it doesn't have any sails. So you may ask how much if you're a skipper and if you want to rent a yacht, charter a yacht. So I can share my other window and we can find the yacht together. So there are many search engines available to find you a yacht, and I can tell you they start from less than €1,000 for the whole week, the whole yacht for the whole week. Imagine. So I think it's cheap, and they're nice. Like for example, yeah, in autumn, it's very modern yacht, 2000 built in 2019. You can have it for a little over 1,000 for a week, and you can have 8 people on board maximum sleeping. So there are many offers, and of course that those are the cheapest, right? But the most expensive I was chartering was 18,000 per 2 weeks or something like that, or for a week and a half. It was in Caribbean. It was exotic location, so it was I paid by day, not by week. Usually you pay by week, but in Caribbean I was paying by day, so it was like something like about 10,000 per week or something. Okay, so let's go next. Feel free to interrupt me again. By the way, when we go exotic, you're all familiar with Mediterranean locations because all of you are in Europe right now. But if we go exotic, it can look like this. So this is the This is a recent trip in Brazil. I hope the video is working well. So sometimes it's really nice to go at least once a year to go to exotic location to see something that is not possible to see in Mediterranean. Okay, now to school.
This sailing license, this is open sea, right? Because I think there is two onshore and off, like further out.
Yes, it is. It is open sea. The name is slightly confusing because the name says inshore, which to me doesn't make any sense because on the license it's written that it's a coastal waters up to 20 nautical miles away from the coast, which is where we do most of the sailing. Even on Canary Islands, when we are in the Atlantic, we can still use the same license, because when you're 20 miles away from first island, you become 20 miles away to next island. So you can even feel like you're in completely open ocean with this license. Does it make sense? All right. Okay, about the practical course. This is how we did it in Ibiza. So we basically, unlike the pictures where everybody was relaxed, sunbathing non-stop, snorkeling non-stop, on the sailing course, we practice from the morning until the evening. So it's quite intensive practice because 1 week is very short time to master all skipper skills. That's why we practice from the morning to evening, and you can do the same exercise as many times as you want. It doesn't mean that you have only one chance and you have to be successful from the first attempt. No, like if you are, for example, docking, you can dock 5 times, you can dock 10 times, because it's important to be confident in your docking skills, and you don't have to try only once and be successful immediately. It's all about learning. So let me come back to the document I was sharing about the course. Okay, you should see my screen again. Right, so we have agenda. I'm not gonna go through that. It's all the knowledge that skipper should have. And it's 9 different blocks, and there is separate Zoom meetup for each block. And then the process, the actual process. Throughout my life, I found that listening to lectures does not work, because I've seen many people, including myself, falling asleep when we were listening to lectures. So we do it slightly differently. Before Zoom meetup, you have home preparation, and you read just few pages of each book. I'll show in a moment what books we have and what kind of information you need to read. And then when we have Zoom meetup on that block, we will discuss what's clear, what's not clear, what questions do you have. So it will be very interactive discussion rather than you listening to me and falling asleep. So get ready to bring questions on each topic. And that way you will definitely remember a lot of things, and it will be way more productive. And a part of questions and answers, I will be showing some additional info. Sometimes I will be showing the pictures from my previous trips or previous experience. So something additionally that is not in the book. So I will just talk through that like a mini lecture. So we still have mini lecture, but not a 1 hour lecture. And so we will be having those discussions, what you can do on the boat. So for example, I will tell you that it's possible to climb to the top of the mast even when you're underway. So you see we're moving here. This is from Ibiza, and yeah, and you can learn about parts of the boat. You can learn that we have a dinghy boat with us and so on. Yeah, and by looking at the pictures, we can discuss a lot of things like physics, momentum, inertia, but that will be later when we do those meetups. So let me show you the books. You all will be given the access to them through Gmail, through Google Drive. So it will be secure access just for you. So we go back to. So here we'll start from very basic books, and these books, half of the books are written by ISSA Association, our main association that stands behind this course, and I'm just running this course on behalf of the association. So it's not my personal course, but I'm free to add my personal additional topics. That's what I'm happy to do.
We're not looking at the book for some reason.
Sorry, Oleg?
We're not looking at the book, just like a sidebar.
Oh, okay, thanks. Thanks. It failed to share. Thanks a lot. Is it better now?
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, we have two ISSA books, and one of them starts from very, very basic. And the other one it has full skipper knowledge. But at the same time, this book is very compact. So they managed to organize all skipper knowledge in about within 60 pages, which is really nice. So it's very compact, very illustrative. So a lot of topics that you see, they will have just nice illustration that you can understand. And if you don't understand anything, then we discuss it on our Zoom meetup. Very simple, isn't it? So we'll have a lot of things like safety, the navigation, the planning, how to do it, what to do, rules of the road. I'm sure that some of you drive cars, so you know rules of the road. So there are also rules of the sea that we will be learning. The marks, the charts, and so on, the canals. And a part of that will have additional books from different associations. So for example, RYA provides book with a lot of text and less illustrations. Well, this is the example with good illustrations, but sometimes you have more text. And so if you like more classic English, then you can happily read all that information. And there is one more, even more, a bit overcomplicated book that is optional. So if you have time, you read it. If you don't have time, you don't need to read it. So let me come back to browser screen. I hope you see it now. So now it gets clear that when we meet up for topic 1, I hope we'll do it on Thursday this week. Then we will discuss 3 pages of one ISSA book, 2 pages of another ISSA book, then 6 pages of RYA. That's it. And if you have free time, you can read additional 8 pages. That's it. Is it hard? I don't think it's too hard. So the amount of reading is minimum. You don't need to read crazy amount of materials. So I hope your brain will not explode. Any questions on this methodology? Do you like it or not?
Sounds good for me.
Okay, then this is it. So those who are in the group of the theory course, you will receive access to all these books, as well as this notes document that I'm showing right now. and we will decide what time is good for you, for most people, and we will meet up on this block. That the topic of yacht construction plus handling under power of the engine. And starting from now on, feel free to read the pages when you have time, whenever you have time. And then let's discuss. I suggest Thursday, same time. We can do it in WhatsApp. Maybe the vote in. I really like the vote in WhatsApp, because if we speak now, then it will be more difficult. So I'll do another vote in WhatsApp, and I will offer Wednesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon. I must say that this week is exceptional because I'm sailing, and sometimes we drop an anchor in absolutely wild place surrounded by cliffs where there is no signal, and we don't have Starlink on this yacht. So in that case, I'll apologize, and we'll postpone it to next week, Monday or Tuesday. But in general, I'm not sailing. I'm not sailing that often, so we will have enough time to finish the course without interruptions. So I'm not planning to sail up until our next flotilla, which is 11th of May. And by 11th of May, we can finish the course. So is that okay? Any ideas, any comments, suggestions?
Yeah, I have some. You can hear me well?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very basic question. So I can understand that this everything that you provide us, the documentation, books, stuff, and then you explain us some stuff, like a lot of practice. That's nice. So it's up to you in the end of the course to decide if we are okay or not with what you taught us. Like it's you who decide, are we getting a license or not, right? So how do you verify that?
That is really nice question. Thanks a lot, Alexei. So first of all, let me show you the little tests. So after each section of the theory, you will have very little test. So let's click on first test, for example. They all same size. So the test usually has 3 or 4 questions. Very simple. So if you read the material, if you attend Zoom class, you can easily understand what it is about and provide right answer. But if you provide wrong answer, it's absolutely fine. You don't fail. It's all about self assessment. So I will tell you that you have this one wrong, and we will discuss on the next meetup. We will discuss why the certain answers are wrong and certain answers are right. So the goal of each test is that to make sure that you actually do it, and then to deepen your knowledge. So that's one thing. So at the end of the theory course, I expect you to submit 9 tests. So if you submit 9 tests, I know that you were doing your theory. Nothing complicated here. And if you fail any questions, it's okay. It's not a university exam. And the most important is to get a license, you will need a practical course. So you cannot get a license after theoretical course only. So to get a license, you come on the yacht and you spend a week living together with me on that yacht. And it's a continuous assessment by the instructor. So there is no formal exam like a driving test in the car. It's a continuous assessment. So if you fail some exercise 4 times, and on the 5th time you mastered it, well done. That's it. And if the same happens with all exercises, you have a license. So it's pretty simple. The reason why people may fail is just you may get sick, simply. Or you may get too tired, because really intensive practice is a lot of brain activities and physical activities at the same time. You may get overwhelmed. And that's fine. It happens from time to time. It's absolutely fine. I know really good skippers who sail around the world like, I don't know, 50 times already, 50 weeks already. And they told me that when they were doing the practice, first time they failed, and now they are excellent skippers. So in that case, those people need to, if they still want a license, they need to come to another practice anytime later, and there will be a very special package for that. So you don't even need to pay full price for that. And then you guaranteed, if you're a normal person, you guarantee that you'll get it second time. And most people get it from the first week. Most people get it from the first week. So there's nothing really over complicated in it. So have I answered your question?
Yes, pretty
Alright.
much. Thanks.
Yeah.
If, for example, theoretically, I have a friend who's instructor, he can just give me this license, right? Because you don't need any formal exam. I'm just curious.
Yes, it's correct. But like in my case, it will not work. A lot of people ask me for a license. I rejected every single one because I believe that it's all about safety and knowledge and not about license. If any instructor gives the license, and there is the instructor's name on each license, there is instructor's name, and the person doesn't understand all the safety and situations and how to handle everything, they can kill themselves. And so I think any instructor has no moral right to do that. But I know some instructors do it. I know, unfortunately. But there is no moral right to do that because it's all about be well, happy, and safe, and not just you don't need license. You wouldn't be able to skipper the boat. It's more complicated than driving a car for sure.
Yeah, I myself will have to skip the first lesson, unfortunately. I have plans for this week. So is it okay? Can I watch recording and do the test later?
Yeah, we will do recordings of each session, no problem.
Okay. And another question I had, do we already have definite dates for our practice session?
Yes, the next practice is from 15th to 22nd of June in Italy. We start from Sicily and then we'll go over smaller islands.
All right.
And it's almost full. There is only one place left for a full student who is aiming for the license, and one place for a student who wants just to practice and learn or have fun, but not aiming to get a certification. Because I'm accepting only up to 4 people for the certification, just because more than that will reduce the quality. And when we have up to 4 students for the certification only, that will give you a lot of time to practice, and you will be a skipper. You will not be a student. You will be practicing all your skipper skills. So you can still bring your friends and family with the very limited spots, but they will not go through the certification. So one place available and one place for practice or fun.
Okay, it means that most probably we are not going to pass this like in June. So you have other dates, right?
Yes, I'm planning, and at the end of summer, I'm planning another course. Most probably one at end of August, depending on the demand, because I don't do it on a day-to-day basis. It's something that happens only from time to time with a very limited number of people. So we can do end of August, and we can do in the autumn, something like October, November. And from December, I do courses on Canary Islands in the rough ocean waters. So those who want to be salty sea wolf, you can wait for December and join Canary Islands. That's it. But you still feel free. Whoever wants, feel free to join June. June, I said the place is available. maybe yours. So that's it from my side. Any other questions?
A quick question about skipper versus captain. Like where
Right.
these definitions are different, and what's the difference?
There is no difference on the yachts like this. There's no difference. It makes sense on the big ships where you have many roles. You have officers, you have different assistants and route planners, plotters, pilots, bosuns, and so on. So in our world, which is free of strangers on board, free of professionally hired people, because when you charter a yacht, the whole yacht is yours. There are no strangers on board. And in this world, the skipper and the captain is exactly the same person. All right. Anyone else? I'll stop the recording.